Hello, and welcome to Imperfect in an Uncertain World, resources for living with authenticity and purpose. Have you ever found yourself wanting to just stop and figure out a way out of a current situation? Maybe you thought you could backtrack, get a giant eraser, or just stop. No matter what you did, you couldn't. You discovered that there was no way out but through the situation. So, I want to talk about what that means, that there is no way out but through. There is no shortcut, no slipping from one path into another one. It's the recognition that this path of ours is long and windy and full of obstacles from beginning to end. But this path of ours is also filled with opportunities and joy and happiness. There's truly no way out of living our life. We meet our challenges, we learn our life lessons. What it takes is that bolstering our courage step by step as we wind our way through. So let's backtrack, and I'm going to ask you a question. Have you ever found yourself in a sticky situation? One in which you just wanted to throw your hands up and walk away. Enough, basta. Maybe you actually did walk away from the situation only to discover later that the essence of that situation followed you. Um, I tell people that I had a series of jobs where the same situation, and it might have shifted a little bit so I couldn't recognize it, but the same situation occurred over and over again until I learned to stand in my power, to walk through the situation and learn how to address it in ways that were compassionate for myself and for other people. And so in that way, I realized, and maybe you've realized, that if you had stayed in the situation instead of running, things might be a little more cohesive for you, and that you might have gained a clearer reflection of your true self in the moment. So I want to backtrack by saying I'm not pointing any fingers, um, or saying that leaving your path sometimes isn't a good idea. Or if I can say that, sometimes it's inevitable that you're going to have to take a detour because it's just not working. And so in that way, you're taking a detour through so you can come back around. It's not running away from a situation. But I can name the times, and it wasn't just about the same situation in a job, it's happened in relationships, that I tried to circumvent my life path instead of learning my life lesson by moving through it. What I've discovered is that challenge went underground for a little bit, only to surface when I least expected it. And I'm going to tell you, sometimes whenever it surfaced, it's not a pleasurable situation. Sometimes looking back, I think, gosh, I wish I would have dealt with it whenever it first occurred. Because when it surfaces, the issues are compounded by time. So let's return to, what does it mean to go through? To go through for me is taking my life as it is. It's living the third Buddhist vow. Also, as I take a long look at reality. So I am mindful of how my thoughts, words, and actions bring me closer to my true self or draw me farther away. How they might create a distance and not for me to live out of illusion instead of authenticity. When I move through it, not only am I courageous, because it can be scary whenever these things come up, I'm curious about what at any given moment on the path is teaching me, and I am daring about learning those lessons. So I am like out of the box in what I'm doing. Of course, there are moments during which we cannot change our life situations. Those are the moments when we may feel paralyzed and out of sorts, but we can still find a way to move through. It's maybe we get down and splash about in the ick of the mud, knowing that we can and will unearth the seed of our true self. We just have to stick with it as we move step by step. And in doing so, we grow through the muck towards the true light of really who we are. We find moments when we move through is to not get stuck in the hard stuff, but to find a way to really find joy and gratitude and compassion, a way to alleviate our suffering on this path we call life. But no matter where we find ourselves, we don't give up on the path of through. Even when we cannot see the light of possibility, we move down the path, trusting that we are closer to uncovering who we truly are. We move knowing that we have the strength to learn from any situation we find ourselves in. And we celebrate that in moving through, we gain the strength necessary to realize the lessons learned on that path. So maybe when we're in the moment of the way through, it might not be, it might be a tough place, but we always trust that as we move through, that when we get to the other side of the rough path, we can appreciate the lessons that we've learned and we can really embrace who we truly are. Thank you for listening. If you like it, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends. If you need some help on the way through, contact me for a life coaching session. We can see what's going on and how we might be able to get you through the path that you are on so that you can move more surely and joyfully. I have more resources available at intentandaction.com. That is intentandaction.com. Check me out on Facebook, Intent and Action, and have a terrific day as you move through the journey.